To everybody, we welcome you to the Air Force Reserve Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off. As part of Feast Week, it's presented by Lowe's. Inside the Mohegan Sun Casino, the Mohegan Sun Arena, home of the Connecticut Sun of the WNBA today, home for the championship game of Arizona State and Virginia. We'll get into the contrasting styles in a moment, and I'm back with my good friend, Mafonso Ellis. Carl Ravitch, welcome everyone. We'll get to the contrast, but there are two comparisons that need to be made between two good friends. Kihei Clark, he grew up next to somebody that he is now going to play against for the first time. This is a unique situation, who are not brothers, but they have never competed against. They've only played with each other.
It's going to be so awkward having those two against each other for the first time. Remy Martin is a phenomenal offensive scorer, 19 points a game. Kihei Clark, one of the best defenders in the nation on ball, is going to be up, in, and under Remy Martin, trying to get him to turn it over.
And they are beyond just basketball buddies. These are two half Filipinos whose families get together all the time for family get-together. So they know each other really well on and off the court. That's Martin and Clark. As far as the teams they play for, one, like Tony Bennett's team, doesn't give up points, fewer than 50 a game, and the other, Arizona State's going to want to score about 80 in order to win this one.
The Virginia Cavaliers, the #1 most efficient defense in the nation, playing against an Arizona State team that is 8th in tempo. Something has to give. Let's see what it does.
All right, let's start with Remy Martin. He's the ball handler for Arizona State. They'll go small. They'll launch a lot of threes if they get a chance. At one point in yesterday's win, Remy Martin scored 13 straight points in the second half on their way to a victory. Pretty good move against Diakite, and the little jump hook misses from Arizona State. That was Romello White.
Any of those easy opportunities at point-blank range, Arizona State's going to have to take advantage of each and every one of them, because good looks are going to be hard to come by against this tough Virginia defense.
That ball deflected. Clark will be able to reel it in. He's got 10 on the shot clock. Being guarded by his best buddy, Remy Martin. Diakite launches and knocks down the first three of the game.
An improved area of Mamadi Diakite's game. He's shooting 56% from three coming into the tournament.
Averaging over 13 a game with 8.2 rebounds per game. How important will it be for Arizona State to do what Martin just did? Penetrate and try to create an open shot, as Edwards sends that one hard off the backboard.
Yeah, against the Virginia defense, you've got to be able to reverse the basketball, drive it, cause that defense to collapse, and kick it and look for opportunities on the weak side of the floor.
Near steal, and this is what Arizona State does. Martin, pressure here, left-hand layup, and it's good.
And folks, when you're playing against a great defense, you've got to be able to get something out in the open floor. That time, Arizona State creating a nice little transition opportunity off of their defense.
The inside, he misses, and the rebound, and that's going to be one of the keys. Bobby Hurley told me before the game how we do on the boards offensively, but more importantly on our defensive boards, not give up the second chances. Dalton had it stripped away, and good defense by Virginia.
There's got to come to a jump stop in that area. You try to take that one extra step, the defense converges on you, and it turns into a turnover as it did there. I'd like to see Virginia punch that basketball inside.
Diakite's going to get called for the walk.
Arizona State is so good playing in the passing lanes, anticipating your reversal pass, and if you don't get it on the outside hand, the speed and quickness of Arizona State takes over. That's exactly what we saw on that play from Remy Martin there.
And with a little pace on it, that was a lazy pass.
Indeed.
It would be a mental challenge, too, for a team that likes to push and score over 80 a game to deal with the style that Virginia really forces you into. You talk all the time about bringing your tempo to the game. Virginia makes that so difficult.
They really just take the air out of the basketball and put so much pressure on your defense to be able to get stops, because you're just not getting any clean looks on the offensive end. And so every opportunity that Arizona State gets on turnovers, missed shots, they've got to get out and run and get some easy ones.
Braxton Key gives it to Morsell, who throws over to Diakite.
The key was open in the middle of the lane. That ball got there too late, and it ends up in a turnover.
A couple of turnovers for each side here early in this one as Virginia off to a 3-2 advantage. Bobby Hurley's had some success beating some really good teams, especially in November. Third year in a row that they're playing in a November tournament, and their prior two, they didn't lose a game. So these have been very good, including against some high-quality competition like the Cavaliers that they've won. Martin got stuck in the air, still 8 on the shot clock. Edwards down low to White.
Can't give up your dribble that soon.
And he walked. Another turnover for Arizona State.
Yeah, when you catch that basketball down there one-on-one inside, you've got to make a quick, exacting move down low. That time, Romello White just took a little comfort dribble and got frozen in the spot, creating that turnover. Got to be more decisive when you catch it against a good defensive team.
Now 10 on the shot clock. Morsel goes baseline. Tough shot. Oh, and he makes it a baseline fadeaway. And it gives Virginia the 5-2 advantage.
He's really coming on as of late. Hasn't shot the ball well from the three-point line, so he's been giving it up and looking for the mid-range. And that's a really good read and tough to defend, fading away a little bit from 15.
Martin 3-ball. Too hard. Arizona State looking to knock off a top 10 team, which is exactly what the football team did last night.
Indeed.
And the wrestling team did Friday night, knocking off number 1 Penn State.
Nice pass.
Diakite knocks down a 3. He's made 2 of those. And Virginia quickly out to a 6-point advantage.
Inside, outside threes or high percentage threes. And how about that? Your big Braxton Key throwing it out to a big and Mamadi Diakite who knocks it down from 3. Beautiful execution there in the half court by Virginia.
They're going to get Diakite with the foul. We talked about the great weekend that Arizona State's enjoying athletically. Our good buddy Herm Edwards is going to join us live as we continue to talk about last night's win and this basketball team. Arizona State and Virginia. Virginia off to a quick start. Last night, if you didn't see it, Arizona State's football team got off to a fast start, and they knocked off Oregon. And the head coach, of course, our ESPN longtime brother Herm Edwards joins LaFonso Ellis and me on the phone. So how do you spend sort of the last 12 hours? I'm sure knowing you were up early on the treadmill, but how do you spend the last 12, Herm, after a big victory like that? Right. Yes, sir. What'd you learn about your team, Herm, last night and the fact that they could win that game? No. But we're watching Arizona State take on a number 7 Virginia team. Virginia, as you know, a terrific basketball program. What goes into beating Herm? What's the recipe, aside from being upset about losing, that goes into sort of beating a top 10 team in any sport? All right, hey, Herm, I'm being told, unfortunately, I think we're having a technical challenge hearing you. So we'll try to figure that out. We'll bring you back. I apologize for that. But thanks very much for being with us. I know LaFonso and I enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely.
We were able to hear him, but apparently the people at home were not, so we apologize for that, and we hope to have Herm back in a moment. Arizona State needed that basket early on as Woldentensai is called for a travel.
Well, what we're seeing right now is Virginia's able to get anything they want on the offensive end on the floor, but Arizona State was able to get a stop, get out in transition, and Rob Edwards was able to knock down the shot. And so, again, missed shots, turnovers. Arizona State's got to take advantage of their speed and get out and get some early looks.
A little instant offense off the bench. Tayshaun Cherry's in, but more importantly perhaps is Jalen House, who has the ball here. And the last name very familiar to Arizona State folks. His dad, Eddie House, of course, a household name at Arizona State. And Cherry's baseline jumper gets nothing.
Tayshaun Cherry usually very comfortable shooting those corner threes. He didn't shoot that with any confidence.
And for Virginia, the 7-footer, Jay Huff, he's going to present some challenges for a smaller Arizona State team. That ball is just literally thrown out of bounds, deflected out of bounds, and it'll stay with Virginia.
Now, with Jalen House now in the game with Remy Martin, their defense changes. They're able to dial in, get up and in, and try to make Virginia play a little bit more quickly. See if they get some turnovers here and get out in transition.
No foul called as it rattled in and out on what ended up being a throw from Diakite towards the basket.
They try to go to a weave here to a high ball screen to try to get in the lane.
Go back.
7 on the shot clock for Martin, who is double teamed out top, and he's going to have to go one-on-one. 2 on the shot clock. 1, he didn't get it off. Pressure defense, but you got to be a little more aware of the clock.
Well, what happens is when Remy Martin drives to the baseline, Romello White has to vacate that spot there to get his defensive player out of there. He stayed, and Remy Martin had nowhere to go. Tell you what, man, that Virginia defense can be like an anaconda.
Right. The 7-footer Huff can shoot the 3. They're searching for somebody to be able to pick up where all those guys, Ty Jerome and Kyle Guy, were able to shoot last year. Edwards, that's a 3 that finds the bottom of the net.
Rob Edwards was shooting 50% from 3 coming into this tournament. Couldn't quite get going on the offensive end yesterday, but he did a magnificent job defensively, and he's playing with a lot of confidence here in the first half.
He had 13 yesterday in the win against St. John's. Arizona State shot 60% in the second half yesterday. They shot just under 50 for the entire game. And when they get warm, they can become real hard to guard.
Well, Rob Edwards did a terrific job yesterday of really eliminating Mustafa Heron's production on the offensive end, held him to 1 field goal. And so sometimes when you're playing D that effectively, it can take away your offensive game, but he's dialed in today on the offensive end.
Huff kept that ball alive. And Cherry just rolled his ankle, and he's in serious pain in front of the scorer's table. He's on the ground and holding that right ankle of his.
Timeout here.
That play continues. We'll have the injury. Tayshaun Cherry fell down and grabbed that right ankle, and he's been writhing in pain for about 30 seconds. Right there, you can see it. Ouch. That right ankle rolled hard. We'll take a timeout as he gets tended to. 10-8, Virginia on top. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Air Force Reserve. College tuition assistance is available with the Air Force Reserve. Citi, welcome what's next. And the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts, where the game never ends. Ravage, take 2 with our buddy Herm Edwards as Virginia leads Arizona State 10-8. So again, LaFonso, we heard the great answers from Herm. Apparently the people at home didn't. So Herm, I'm going to cherry pick and go with what I thought was the best answer when I asked the same question which you just heard about 3 minutes ago. What did you or your team learn when you knock off and knock out of the championship conversation Oregon last night? And congratulations on the win.
Well, thank you. I think what we learned is this, is that you have to know your opponent when you're playing a ranked team or a team that a lot of people feel that they're better than you. And obviously their record indicated that, along with what they've been able to build up there in the program. But I think the thing we knew going into this game is that this is a team that when you play them, first half points were critical. They've outscored their opponent 188 to 86. So they put you in this position of always trying to catch up. And you think about their defense going into this game, they had 32 sacks, 17 interceptions, 106 points off turnovers.
Right.
So our whole key was this. Let's muck up the game. Let's make it ugly. Let's possess the ball longer than they would like. And when you look at the game, that's how it kind of turned out for us. It was a 7-7 game in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We shut them out in the second quarter, got another 3. So it's 10 to 7, and we're comfortable in that environment because a lot of people watch us play. A lot of our games really close,
and they're not.
Right. And so all of a sudden, coming out of half, we knew we were getting the ball if we get some more points. We got another 3. Still shut them out in the third quarter, and all of a sudden now they're playing in the different games that they like to.
Herm, sometimes when you lose a few in a row, freshmen can lose their confidence, and yet Jaden Daniel stepped up and threw for 3 touchdowns and 408 passing yards. Tell me about his mindset going into yesterday's game.
Well, it was real simple. I kept telling him all week, I said, look, this is a national audience. I said, you think they're putting us on television to watch us, the 5-5 football team? You got a quarterback on the other team who's going to be a first-round pick. Who do you think they watch it?
Right.
So I kind of challenged him on that one. You know, he looked at me, I said, well, I'm just telling you the truth, right? And he said, Coach, I got it. I said, okay, we'll go out playing. He played pretty good.
I love it.
Well, Oregon likes to play fast on the football field. Virginia on a basketball court. And I don't know what your relationship is with Bobby Hurley as Cherry launches a 3 and misses. But Virginia will like to slow this game down. They like to muck it up defensively. Is there a way that you can kind of mentally get your players to understand what the expectation is going to be and then how to deal with it?
Yeah, and that's the key. You have to feel comfortable when it's uncomfortable. And that's what good teams are able to do in those moments. And, Bobby's a heck of a coach, and I've got a pretty good relationship with him. And you're right. They're a team that likes to run and shoot. At the end, I just think this. Once you find the tone of the game and you know the kind of, the spirit of the game, then you gotta find your way into that and go, okay, we're okay. And understand when you have an opportunity to break away from that, there's going to be moments that when you get a chance to do that, then you got to go do it.
Right. And then lastly, the wrestling team knocks off Penn State. They end their 60-match win streak. You guys knock off Oregon, and you got a chance here to complete that triumvirate if they can beat Virginia today. The idea of knocking off sort of a giant, what goes into that?
Well, first of all, you got to believe you can do it.
Yep.
And that comes with your preparation. And I'll say this for Bobby and those guys. In life, things comes in 3s.
Yes.
So it's been 2 so far, so maybe the third one could happen today for those Sunday.
I hear you. Well, I hope you have a chance to enjoy the Sunday a little bit.
Yes.
Players are certainly loving it because they're off today, and I hope you get a chance to enjoy it. And thanks, Herm, so much for being with us. Continued success, my friend.
Yes.
My pleasure, my friend.
All right, that's Herm Edwards, of course, joining us here as Virginia leads Arizona State 13-8. And he's right, things come in 3s, but boy, there is a whole belief. He kept screaming after the game.
Yeah.
When you're tired of losing, when you are finally fed up with losing, that seems a little simpler than it is done. It's easier to say that because you could be tired of losing and the other team's just going to be better than you are.
Yeah, and yet you can dig down and find some resolve, and if everyone buys in that day, you can end up winning, and that's exactly what happened yesterday for Arizona State.
Great pass from Kihei Clark. He led Jay Huff, the 7-footer, right to the rim, and he laid it in over it, and they got their lead back up to 7.
Speaking of coming in 3s, how about 9 of Virginia's 15 points coming from the 3-point line, of which coming into this tournament, they were only shooting 16% from the 3-point line.
Valtonen had that one blocked. Back-to-back trips down the floor with blocks. We saw Huff with one, and now we see Braxton Key with a big block. Remind everyone as we dive into Thanksgiving week, Feast Week, rolling on with 2 more championship games on ESPN and the app. Number 17, Villanova. Number 24, Baylor, the Myrtle Beach Invitational at 5 Eastern. And then another big test for a young Florida team. They take on number 18, Xavier, in the Charleston Classic at 8:30. Xavier was pushed to the limit by UConn, who, of course, is coached by Bobby Hurley's brother, Danny, losing in double overtime.
Yeah, that's a very physical team led by Najee Marshall. I'm interested to see if Florida can finally start to play off of Kerry Blackshear, the talented Virginia Tech transfer, but they've got to make some threes. Only 30% from the three-point line, and that's hurt Kerry Blackshear's ability to operate inside.
Sure has. The frustration mounts for Danny Hurley here. The Virginia defense forces another shot clock violation.
Tony Bennett's approach has been great. What they've done is doubled the basketball at the top of the floor on screens, and as Tayshaun Cherry has bounced out looking for the open three, they've been willing to give him that shot, and he's just not been able to knock it down.
Fascinating to watch Remy Martin and Kihei Clark, two boyhood buddies that have played together forever. I would think he knows every move that Kihei Clark is going to throw at him.
They both have great hair. I'm a little envious.
He misses the layup there. Velton has got a chance to run a 4-on-2. They get the three-pointer off, and the shot is missed by Rob Edwards.
Yeah, Valtonen had Remy Martin, number 1, streaking to his left. I thought he made the wrong read. They could have had an easy layup there for Remy Martin.
The comfort level in having that shot clock get under 10 as the shot is missed for Virginia. They play that way. That's why Arizona State, 13 minutes into this thing, has only got 8 points. Don't let Martin get hot. You saw it yesterday when he had 13 points in a row.
And that's why I thought that ball should have gone to him in transition, because he's one of those guys, if he can see it go through the net, he can run off about 4, 5, 6 straight. How about 13 straight points to go on that 20-6 run?
20 to 6
to start
run.
the second half in yesterday's game.
That's a Fonz in the heyday at Notre Dame type run.
I do my best for him.
Morcell was open in the corner. They didn't see him, and Key has 4 on the shot clock. May have gotten away with a little push-off. The shot short, and the rebound hustle to Arizona State. Bobby Hurley yells out reverse on the sideline. Velton, the sophomore out of Finland. Edwards also extended his right arm to clear space. Lawrence, that's a bad shot.
Yeah. I actually thought Rob Edwards, because of his ability to be able to elevate from 12 feet, should have taken that jump shot.
Tayshaun Cherry and Jalen House go to the scorer's table. Tayshaun Cherry's got to feel like a punching bag. He rolls his ankle, comes right back on the floor, and then he gets knocked in the face on the baseline.
Poor kid.
Corner, good setup and an air ball that went off of Virginia. We'll take a timeout. 15-10, 5:49 to go. Remy Martin and his buddy Kihei Clark going one-on-one, and that time Martin gets the win. The Maui Gym, Maui Invitational, and you're talking about some of the best teams, best individual players in the country. Both Maui and Atlantis have super fields with superstar players. Maui starts on Monday, and some of the matchups are terrific. You get a chance to see Anthony Edwards for Georgia, Michigan State, Cassius Winston, Kansas, and Azubuike's been playing terrific lately. UCLA and BYU, the Bruins and the Pac-12, after such a great start, have had sort of a bumpy week here, and now they got to try to right the ship. Any particular storyline you're looking forward to from Maui?
Yeah, well, we know Michigan State, we know Kansas, but I think that Georgia-Dayton game is kind of undersold there. You already mentioned Anthony Edwards, who's right now the number 2 projected draft pick in the NBA next year's draft. But Dayton has a kid named Obi Toppin, who's averaging about 24 points, shooting 43% from the three-point line, 6'9", 220, inside, outside, versatile. That's going to be a great game.
Green's Georgia Bulldogs got the recruit they need. See if they can build on that. And Diakite just took that one away from White.
LaMelo White usually pretty good passing out of the double team there, but if you notice, there was no fake. You got to give a little ball fake low, throw it high, or ball fake high and throw it low. He did neither, and it led to a turnover.
Chase Coleman into the game, handling the ball now for Virginia. Also back into the game, Thomas Oldetensai. Nice touch pass by Huff to Diakite, who got bumped. How about Huff, the big man, showing the range in his game. We saw the three. Yeah. Now we see the touch pass.
Well, that trio, Huff, Braxton Key, and Diakite, the three of them play so well with each other. The strength of this Virginia team in the past has been their guard play. This year is their front court, and they flex their muscle here early on the glass and knocking down threes.
Casey Morsell also out there. 15-10, 5 minutes to go, ball on the floor. And Morsell kicks, Coleman, three, money.
That's beautiful ball movement there. He's a preferred walk-on, backs up Kihei, does a great job of getting up and in and underneath the basketball, turning the guy 4 or 5 times up the floor. But if they can get some offense from him, some threes knocked down, that's bonus time for the Cavaliers. I really like his toughness and his hustle.
How hard Virginia makes it, how difficult they make it to get that ball inside to create an inside out or get a shot within that paint.
And folks, when you get opportunities against Virginia, particularly when you're on the defensive end and you can get a loose ball, you've got to come up with that thing. Now all of a sudden Arizona State doesn't get it. There's a ball reversal and a kick back to Chase Coleman, and he steps into it and knocks it down. Another missed opportunity on the defensive end to come up with the possession for Arizona State.
Virginia has a ridiculous 93-2 record under Tony Bennett when they don't give up 50 or more points.
Wow.
ASU's got 10. Wow. Not sure 50's in their sights, so they got 8 turnovers. 93-2.
Yeah, I don't think people realize just how good the Virginia Cavaliers have been under Tony Bennett. I mean, there's an argument that he's had the best team in the ACC for the last 4 or 5 years.
Diakite did a great job to keep that one alive. Huff also on the offensive glass leads to a reverse layup, and they've doubled up ASU 20-10. Boy, Huff has been very active doing little things.
Yes, he has.
Martin got fouled as he threw up the three, and Morsell undercut him, so he'll go to the free throw line and shoot 3. With that, we'll take a timeout. 3:41 to go. Championship game, ASU and Virginia. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in for Black Friday deals. Do it right for less and start with Lowe's. Good start for Virginia. Back to Mohegan Sun after this.
That's just not going to get it done. That was coming into the tournament. They were shooting 16. They're shooting it a lot better today. But the reality is, with the open looks they're getting and how Tony Bennett, I call it the factory that he has, teaching those guys how to shoot it with proper technique, I think this Virginia team is going to shoot the basketball a lot better as we get closer to March. And that's going to make them a very lethal and dangerous team in the NCAA tournament and could potentially hang another banner after they begin to shoot it well.
No, that's a tall task for them. But to Seth's point, and even to Tony's point, you know, last year when you had Jerome and you had Alexander, you know, you had some first-round draft picks that all could shoot. New team. Last year they would shoot and they would be surprised when they missed.
Yeah.
At least early on, it feels like when they shoot, they're surprised sometimes when it goes in.
No, that's right, Rav. I mean, look, this team has been top 5 over the last 7 years in terms of defensive efficiency, but they haven't been as good on the offensive end. Last year, I think they were top 15 offensive efficiency. So when you combine those two efficiencies, offense and defense, you do exactly what they did, which is win a national championship.
Right. And DeAndre Hunter was just such a versatile player as well. And take a look at their defense over the years. The identity. Seth talks about identity a lot. Some people call it culture, but look, this is a team and a program that is completely identified by its defense. Nice move by Kihei Clark. Missed the layup. And then he threw it away to Remy Martin, who's on the run.
This is where Arizona State has to get points.
White had it, got foul. He'll go to the free throw line and shoot too. Boy, they are a push team.
Yes.
Remy Martin forgot to get the ball over the rim.
No, I think he was trying to just throw his body in there to get to the foul line. But for Arizona State to get to the NCAA tournament and be one of the best teams in the Pac-12, they've got to get production from number 23.
It would have been great if
Yes, it would have.
in from the wing, like Fonz came in from the wing.
Oh, my gosh.
An alley-oop, but that wasn't part of the plan.
But you got to love the speed, though.
If you were looking for a sprint, that was a good one.
Because I have the Pac-12 getting 5 to 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. You look at Oregon, look at Washington. Colorado essentially has their entire team back from last year. And I think there's going to be 3 teams vying for that final one or the final 2 spots there. And Arizona State will be one of those teams. But they've got to get consistent play from number 23 in yellow, Romello White.
Great take by the freshman out of Fort Washington, Maryland, Casey Morsell, high above the rim to lay it in. And the lead grows back to 8.
Let's not forget about Arizona.
No, Sean Miller's got a great team. Martin got his man in the air, threw it up, and no foul called as Kihei Clark went straight up. What do you think it's like for Clark and Martin to go against each other?
It's just odd. and you know, it's your brothers and you try to... Wow.
Morsell with a throwdown and a quick timeout from Bobby Hurley. 10-point advantage, Cavaliers with 2:18 to go in the first. Hey everyone, you've heard of cherry picking. We're going to pick on Cherry a little bit here.
We hate to do it, but Tayshaun Cherry, when that ball screen is set, look at him. He should be up flat or out hedging. He does neither, which opens up a wide lane for Casey Morsell to go down. And when he walked off the floor, Coach Hurley gave him some, I would say, some not so PG-rated verbiage as he was going to the bench.
For example, yesterday too, Jalen House made a good defensive play or offensive play, celebrated, then he didn't get back on defense. That was a 90-foot stare down.
Indeed.
There's House spinning, and he throws it into the corner. Tough shot thrown up. Boy, Virginia has either forced bad shots or Arizona State's taking bad shots.
Well, and the floor balance is just not there. What he was looking for is to hang in the air and then pitch it to the right side of the floor. There was no one there to pass it to, so Valtman had to take that shot. This defense has been completely disruptive to the Arizona State offense today.
Diakite with a smaller Thomas on him underneath. Now he clears. Ooh, that ball off of House, and that's a steal for Arizona State.
Nice pass.
Good pass and a good spot. And finally they get White to get one in off the window.
That's the guy we've been talking about. He's got to give them some production this afternoon, or Arizona State has no shot at winning this game.
Junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Romello White now 4 points.
Tell you what, man, it feels like Virginia's up like 30.
It does. Right?
You know?
And they're not yet, but boy, Morsell has shown he can put the ball in the basket. 3 varied offensive moves. He's got 6 quickies here.
And you play against a Virginia team that plays at this pace, 10 feels like 20.
You're right.
So Arizona State's got to get a couple buckets here before they get in for halftime.
Morsell, double-digit scorer now. He's the only guy there. He's got 10, including 6 in the last 90 seconds. Good pass and a tough layup with Diakite trying to block it. Laid in by Remy Martin.
And that's what they've been missing, Arizona State. Anytime they throw that basketball inside and there's a double team, you've got to get a cutter to the rim.
There should be a steal as they trap Kihei Clark. You got a chance to cut into this 8-point deficit with a last shot, 26-18. Martin yelling at House. He wanted it. 5 on the shot clock, 5 in the half. Martin 3. Oh, big 3. And all of a sudden the 10-point lead cut in half in the last 30 seconds. It's 26-21.
Arizona State using their defense to come up with a late possession there, a little high ball screen. Remy Martin able to get to his right side, and he's a big shot maker. That's a huge shot going into halftime for Arizona State.
You're right. It felt like Virginia should be up by 20. What they've done, though, is hold Arizona State to their fewest points in a half this season. Previous low, 29. They're 8 shy of that. After the break, we go back to the studio. You've already heard from John Crispin, Seth Greenberg, and John Brickley. The Chief Halftime Report is coming up. Welcome back, everyone. The Air Force Reserve Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off. It's part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's, one of the great college basketball weeks until you get into March on the NCAA basketball calendar. Here it's Virginia 26, Arizona State 21. Virginia led by as many as 10. Big finish by really Remy Martin. Made it a 5-point game, and all of a sudden we have ourselves a basketball game. They wanted to play defense, they did, but they got a lot of fast break points on Arizona State.
Absolutely. They were able to get some turnovers and get out in transition. We talked about pace of play. They got to be able to get out in transition and get some. Got 12 in the first half.
All right, so it was a freshman, actually, not Diakite or somebody like, Kihei Clark. It was Casey Morsell who starred for Virginia.
Yeah, his reputation coming in was a shooting and scoring guy, but he hadn't done that. The staff was confident that he would, and he has today. He's been magnificent, picking his spots down the lane. Oh, what a nice, strong finish there. 5 of 7 from the field today. And then just when they needed someone to step up and make plays, Remy Martin was fantastic, able to get a layup there, and then just as time was expiring, able to knock down a 3-ball, scored the last 5 points for Arizona State for them to win this game. He's going to have a huge second half, as he did yesterday with 13 in a row in the second half.
17 overall, led it for 28 over his last 2 halves. Arizona State 12-0 on fast break points. Virginia not a team that really runs very often. And of course, Casey Morsell, he scored his last 8 points.
And that's really big for Casey Morsell. He's really struggled from the field this year. 11% field goal, 10% from 3 coming into this tournament. And he's having his own little personal breakout party right now.
On to those first half stats brought to you by the Basketball Hall of Fame, located in Springfield, Massachusetts. Start the second half, see if Clark can get going. He was 1 of 6 from the floor for Virginia. Oh, he got away with a walk.
Yes, he did. In the NBA, that's not a travel.
No. But last time I checked, this is college basketball.
Yeah, James Harden could have taken an additional step, and it still wouldn't have been a travel.
James Harden, of course, a former Arizona State Sun Devil.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
That's a good link by you, bro.
Martin, not that time. That ball was blocked. We'll get a travel. First time Remy Martin showed up at Arizona State. And a couple of other guys, they recognized, like, I'm playing pickup basketball, and I'm pretty sure that's James Harden. Playing against James Harden, which is a wake-up call.
Yeah. I tell you, I didn't think that combination of him along with Russell Westbrook was going to work, but they found a way to make it work, and they're on a nice run right now.
There's enough basketball to go around.
Yeah.
Empty trip for Arizona State. Sun Devils would like to see Romello White get on track as well. They got Diakite on a switch with Martin on him, and they go right to him, and he can't get it to go. That will go off of Virginia. They got the ball to the right guy, and he couldn't finish the play.
Diakite is heated right now that he didn't get a foul call when he made that move inside.
Yeah, we talked about it during the half. It's funny. Virginia wants to slow you down and muck it up.
Yes.
Arizona State gets a lot of their points off of loose balls and off of that type of style.
Yeah, I don't think they get enough credit for how good their defense is. They're getting about 13 steals on the season off 23 forced turnovers, and so their defense has been stout. I thought I heard a body
really gave you a big what there. They're going to call that. On alias Valtonen.
Yeah, I was shielded, so I couldn't see if that was a moving screen.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Now we got a 3-on-2, and numbers is right. And that was not a well-executed numbers advantage.
No.
Aldentensai tried to split the middle. They converged. He didn't kick.
Yeah, anytime you can get the defense to step up and take you as the ball handler, you got to make the pitch, and he didn't.
You can see, though, the difference year to year, the challenges that Virginia faces offensively that they didn't face last year. Another turnover.
Yeah. Well, again, they had elite level shooters
3 of them
last year. I mean, Kyle Guy could absolutely stick it, and they just don't have that guy that's emerged yet. But again, Tony Bennett is terrific at taking mediocre shooters and making them good, and taking good shooters and making them elite. He's got a nice little lab for technique that he works with the guys, and I have no doubt that by March, this team will be shooting the basketball at a higher clip from the three-point line. Nice move.
Got it down low. Yeah, White. I thought he was going to go up. Then he dribbled it and still was able to get the ball in. First 2 points of the second half for either team.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-point game.
For this team to be an NCAA tournament team, Romello White's going to have to be consistent, giving them buckets and rebounding on both ends of the floor.
Two-man game with Clark and Diakite, who was open, didn't see him. Morcell's got a physical body to him, doesn't he? Braxton Key, no good. Good rebound in traffic.
I thought he got bumped on his turn. I thought that should have been a foul.
Monty Lawrence came up with it. That's the tie, and it goes. Remy Martin knocks it down. 26-26.
Well, we said coming out of halftime for Arizona State to win this game, number one had to get heated. And he came off that ball screen and didn't waste any time. Quick trigger there for Remy Martin.
Jalen House plays on the team that Eddie House once played for and scored all those points. Remy Martin's got a little Eddie House in him. It doesn't matter if you're missing 3 shots. You're going back up with it. Tough pass, deflected away off Diakite. It'll stay with Virginia.
50-50 chances going in.
Exactly.
Watch Remy Martin coming up in transition, and this is where I feel that they have to take advantage. Mamadi Diakite stayed low, and because of his ability to be able to knock down a 3, a nice step-in 3-point shot by Remy Martin.
So Remy Martin right there with Kihei Clark. They grew up together, do all sorts of family functions. Their entire families get together.
Yeah.
How often do you think Remy and Kihei said, we're just going to go outside and shoot some baskets?
I'd say often.
Blocked at the rim. What a play by White.
Right, those are the kinds of plays that I'm talking about from Romello White, who's certainly capable. He has the tools to be, at minimum, an honorable mention Pac-12 kind of player. It's his time to step up, and he has stepped up on these last 2 possessions.
Arizona State looking for its first lead of the game. Edwards freed himself up, fade away, and he finds the bottom. It's been all Arizona State. They've scored 7. And Virginia's still looking for its first points of the second half.
The ball screen defense for Virginia here early in the second half has not been very good, which has created some offensive opportunities for Arizona State.
Morcell baseline, tough take, deflected out of bounds. Boy, hindsight's 20/20, but it's amazing. You look back at the last minute and a half of the first half when it was 26-16. We went to break 26-21, and it's been all Arizona State this half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in for Black Friday deals. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Everything coming up Sun Devil right now in the Mohegan Sun Arena. Welcome back, everyone. Virginia, Arizona State, far from home. And for Arizona State, their next game is going to be against Princeton. How about the mental challenge that Bobby Hurley's putting up for his team? You go from Virginia, it's just a nightmare to play,
yes,
especially when you like to move the ball up the floor, and then you go into Princeton with all the backdoor cuts.
Yeah.
That'll challenge you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, as we've said, I don't think Arizona State's got enough credit for their defense. Their defense has been pretty doggone good, and you've seen little flashes here.
They're on a 12-0 run. Morcell no good. The big box out there by White prevents the 7-footer Huff from getting close to it.
The inability of Virginia to be able to knock down perimeter jump shots, along with not being able to execute properly defensively on ball screens, has really hurt them here in the second half.
White kick, long 3, short. Cherry's been off all afternoon.
Yes, he has.
His first shot was an air ball, so Tayshaun Cherry misses another one. And he's 0 for 5 today.
So Virginia's got to get Mamadi Diakite, number 25, and White going. He's their best scorer. I think he's got to get some touches, not only in the perimeter, but on the box as well.
3 no good, and then Huff again boxed out. White's doing a good job, got a big body on him. Martin. Oh, somebody is on fire. Remy Martin knocks down another one. His mom and dad there celebrating that.
You can't give him that much room.
That's Marianne right there sitting down. No, you can't give him any room.
He's too good of a shooter. He's a 43% three-point field goal shooter. You cannot give him any airspace.
A 15-0 run for Arizona State and a foul on Cherry. They've scored the last 15 in this game.
Folks, Remy Martin is phenomenal off of ball screens. If you go under, he's got such deep range that he can shoot it from just about anywhere. Kihei Clark has to get up over that screen and chase him. And now all of a sudden, Jay Huff backs up. It gives him too much airspace, and he knocks it down. Remy Martin is dialed in here in the second half.
5 big points at the end of that first half, followed by 10 here to start this second half. Last 6 minutes, it's a 15-0 game. Off spin move, and that is going to be a foul on the floor, says Bo Borowski. So there are the Martin, Sam, and Mary Ann. And of course, they very close with the Clark family.
Yeah.
It was Kihei Clark's dad who actually was the coach of the kids on a variety of youth basketball teams growing up. They hang out a lot together.
What a treat it must be for those families, both families, to see their boys out here competing against each other today.
Braxton Key needs it and throws it off the back iron. Arizona State looking to improve on that 15-0 run. Martin, we're going to get a foul on his buddy Kihei Clark. Through the years, Kihei Clark there with the cornrows, and then you got Remy Martin on the left. And they look a little bit different now, and they're playing at major college programs.
Tell you what, I'm just in awe of the hair. I mean, come on, I wish I could get me a little wig and rock it like Remy Martin, man. Bonnie, our director, didn't come through for me on the wig today.
No, she didn't, but she did go to Arizona State.
That is true.
Remy Martin, oh my goodness. Even Bobby Hurley looked at the referee and it's like, whoa. He's got 19, and it's a 17-0 Arizona State run.
Diakite just had Rob Edwards down in the box, a mismatch, and didn't get the basketball. That's a microcosm.
Cherry with a layup.
Yeah, that's a microcosm of what's going on with Virginia right now offensively.
A 19-0 run, something Virginia is not used to. Arizona State 35-26. They've scored in a variety of ways, a 19-0 run.
They really have, and we talked about, because of how good this Virginia defense is, that they needed to be able to touch the paint in the half court, which they've been able to do at will, and they've needed to get out in transition and get ahead of it. 17 fast break points in this game for Arizona State, one right there.
That Remy Martin shot, one of the best shots we've seen in college basketball all year.
Sick.
He had 17 in the second half yesterday. He's on his way to another huge second half today. He's got 19 total points. And again, they scored the last 5 of the first half and the first 14 here. So what does Tony Bennett say in that timeout? Where do we get our points from?
Well, their ball screen defense has to improve and not give Remy Martin room to be able to squeeze off a jump shot that he's been knocking down. And I think they've got to get the basketball out of his hands. And once he gives it up, shadow him and don't let him get back. Force someone else out there on the floor for Arizona State to beat you.
But where does Virginia get their points?
They got to go to this guy. He's only had 2 touches here in the second half.
He forced another one. Key, that's a goaltend, and that ends that 19-0 run as Braxton Key went up. And White, after it hit the backboard, deflected it out.
Yeah, the strength of this Virginia team is not their backcourt this year. It's their front court. And so the more opportunities Diakite and Huff can get, the better it is for this team, because they just don't shoot it well. 16% from 3 on the year coming into this tournament.
Chase Coleman in now. They've gone small, and they're trying to cause some problems for the ball handlers of Arizona State. That time it was Jalen House who delivered a little bounce pass, and we'll have some free throws from White coming up. Feast Week rolls on. We got a couple more championship games on ESPN, on the ESPN app. Number 17, Jay Wright's Villanova team. They may be the best shooting team in the country. They take on number 24, Baylor. That's the Myrtle Beach Invitational, 5 Eastern time. Then a good one tonight at 8:30, Florida. The Gators with all sorts of young talent. Their 3 sophomores are back, and they got 6 freshmen. You mentioned KJ, Kerry Blackshear transfers in. That game is at 8:30. So a couple of more championships here before we head deep into the Atlantis and the Maui Invitational tournaments.
Yeah, you mentioned Nova's ability to be able to shoot at 42% from 3, and they just got Brandon Antoine back.
Right.
One of the elite shooters in all of college basketball, shooting 50% from 3 in the game that he's played so far. And so Nova positioned themselves yet again to win the Big East.
Yeah.
But I think Seton Hall's going to have a lot to say about that one.
Miles Powell is unbelievable. You get to see him at the Battle for Atlantis.
Yes.
Don't forget, Connecticut's moving to the Big East next year. They had a great game against Xavier as Bobby Hurley's brother Danny tries to build something back in stores.
They're playing with a real toughness right now, UConn.
Morcell, he's dragging that right foot. They don't call it. 7 on the shot clock. Key penetrates, and he goes with his left, no good. Diakite can't come up with it. Jalen House.
This is the first time I've seen in a long time that Virginia's defense is having a tough time with Arizona State's speed.
Yep, I agree. They're going to get Diakite there, so frustration for Virginia. And you can see when guys like Edwards making his shots, and obviously when Remy White's making his shots. Jalen House hasn't made a shot yet.
Right.
They can be a real difficult guard.
Absolutely. They can pace you out, spread the floor, and I think that's really what's happened is Virginia's been spread out defensively, and not only have they not defended the ball screen well, which has led to some wide open shots behind it, but also on ball reversals, Arizona State's been able to turn the corner and get in the lane.
Right. Very active defense, Arizona State. They'll switch here. Morcell threw it up. We're going to get a foul. They say Cherry got him on the arm. This is going to be Virginia's first free throws of the day.
Part of that, Rav, has been they've fallen in love with the jump shot today. And it's been just recent where they've thrown it on the block to Diakite. Key's been able to drive and get to the lane. And again, Virginia, in order for them to win this basketball game, their 3 bigs, Huff, Diakite, and Key, are going to have to take over this game in the low block. They're going to have to get on the offensive glass and get some extra points there for Virginia.
Elias Valtonen now back in the game. They're about to get Jalen Graham into the game as well. He's a 6'9" freshman out of Phoenix, Arizona. First free throw is good.
And folks, Casey Morcell, number 13 at the foul line for Virginia, is going to be a terrific player. 2019 Gatorade and USA Today Player of the Year in Washington, D.C. And a lot of people have likened him to Malcolm Brogdon. I don't know if his handle is as good as Brogdon, but you can see the upper body and the lower body strength on that kid.
I see a little bit of DeAndre Hunter. I see a little bit of athleticism around the rim, that finish ability.
I can see that. Not as tall.
No. House got banged. That's on Coleman on the floor. Fifth foul for Virginia. We are under 12, so we'll take a timeout here. Championship game of the Air Force Reserve Hall of Fame tip-off. Show us a little emotion, Sun Devils. It's been a huge athletic weekend for Arizona State. He knows, and a lot of these guys watched that football game last night. Herm Edwards' team, they knocked off Oregon. They end their 9-game win streak. The wrestling team Friday night, they had 8,000 folks there to watch Penn State.
8,000?
8,000. They stormed the mat when it was over. It ended Penn State's 60-match win streak. It was 19-18. Penn State was without 2 of their top wrestlers, but they figured we still are going to beat them. Arizona State came in number 10 in the country, so a couple of big wins in here. They got a chance for another monumental victory for Arizona State if they can knock off the top 10 Virginia team. Edwards had a few moments in the first half where everything he threw up went in. Martin's going to have to force another one, and that time he laid it off. Doesn't get it back. Oh, high off the window. That one falls, and a big shot for Jalen Graham.
Mamadi Diakite did not challenge that shot, and when you turn around and you have the length as Jalen Graham has at like 6'9", there's no one near. You could see the rim clearly, and there was no resistance there, and that's really been what it's been for Virginia here in the entire second half.
Good defense, no charge called. Boy, look at your right. Arizona State's defense deserves some credit.
Yes.
They are all over the Virginia ball handlers. Coleman, so shot comes up short. It's going to stay with Virginia. We got a foul on the floor. They called that one against Valtonen.
Go.
So an 8-point lead for Arizona State. Last 2 years, Bobby Hurley's teams have not lost a November tournament. And they're obviously 1-0 here. Diakite, that's a big fall away. It's a 2-pointer.
And hopefully that can get him going.
Diakite, who is going to be one of the guys you figure has to score for Virginia to have success.
Yes.
His first bucket since the 15-28 mark of the first half. Real tough shot from Martin, and it's off. Now Virginia got a chance to slice it to 4 or 3. Coleman, tough shot. In and out.
Yeah, I thought that ball should have been a bounce pass back to Diakite. That would have been a dunk.
Yeah.
Misread there for Virginia.
Edwards low by, kick, House, way off. Ball loose.
Look at that hustle.
Really good hustle by Jalen Graham.
Even the official got on the floor. Why didn't you dive on the floor, right?
I tried, but I realized I wasn't going to get there in time.
That's a good one.
Good hustle.
Watch this
Jalen
energy
Graham.
and this hustle. Ball's on the floor. Who wants it? Rob Everett's battling down there. Coleman gets in there. Our official gets in there.
Borowski gets in
This
there.
is awesome.
That was one of those where it looked like perhaps that Diakite was actually out of bounds when the ball had hit him.
Flopping on both teams.
The delay of game warning is issued to both. And flopping is certainly something that the officials this season are paying a lot more attention to, and you will be called for an intentional flop. Now, if this were soccer, the game would never move. It just would be stuck.
Point. That's a great point. Oh, that's a hold there, yeah, before the ball comes in. Tayshaun Cherry back into the game. He and White, two big fellows on the floor for Arizona State. Otherwise, three guys under about 6'1". Yeah, right? Game's getting a little chippy. I like it. A little old school. Big East NBA.
Kind of Big East territory up here in Connecticut. It will be again next year. Clark around House, throws it up with his right hand, and it goes in.
That's great patience by Kihei Clark coming off that ball screen.
You can see the difference when House is on Kihei Clark than when Remy Martin, a freshman versus a junior. Crowd into it. Edwards dribbles into the corner. He'll find Martin, who'll fire. That one is short. Remy Martin, a streak shooter, and all of a sudden he's gotten into a little cold streak. Good dish, Huff. He lost it on the way up, and they'll call the charge. Good draw of the charge by Jalen House.
And folks, House is not the biggest guy in the world, but this is the toughness, the grit, and the guts that he brings to the game. I mean, he's just around 6'1", 6'2", maybe weighs 150 pounds. And watch as Huff's going down the lane, gives up, sacrifices his body to get a turnover for his team.
You know what happened there? If you huff and you puff, you can blow the house down.
That's really good.
Good hands, and it'll go to Virginia right in front of Bobby Hurley, who's pleading his case, and he's not going to win it. He did not see that the way that DJ Karstensen saw it.
Shielded from the play, so I couldn't really see it over there.
Diakite in the paint, triple teamed. Oh, good shot. Diakite has got 4 now all of a sudden, and we got ourselves a 2-point game, and Bobby Hurley says time to talk things over. An 8-2 run for the defending national champions, 38-36.
And welcome back, folks. And for Virginia, they needed to get the basketball to their best player. Mamadi Diakite knocks down a fadeaway there as shot clock time expired. And how about Kihei Clark? Hesitation dribble getting to the lane and finishing. And finally, they get it back to their horse. How about the patience, the step through, and a little hook shot over the top. This Virginia team started 0 for 8 here in the second half. Since then, on a 4-6 run here, 4 of 6 from the field.
And a 2-point ball game. Arizona State looking to knock off unbeaten and defending champ Virginia. Today's game track is brought to you by Castrol Edge. Virginia shooting only 29%, but improving dramatically. Second half 3-point shooting, 40%. And again, the fast break points, 18-0. Remy Martin had been red hot. He's gone a little cold lately, missing a couple. Seems to make the contested shots or late clock shots easier than he does the wide open jumpers. That one misses from Edwards.
What's happening there, Rav, is now Virginia has changed their ball screen defense. Now the bigs are actually getting up and taking away that little slot that he had gotten used to knocking down that 3 ball. That's a good adjustment by Tony Bennett.
Morcell 3 in and out. And Huff once again tried to knock that back out to an offensive player, but he couldn't. Martin one-on-one with his buddy from Jump Street, Kihei Clark.
Nice pass.
Wide open. Nope, House won't take it. Instead of penetration, and Huff is there to block it.
When you know you're running into that amount of length around the rim, House would have better served to kick that basketball to the weak side. That would have been open 3 there in the corner.
Or take that wide open jumper. Clark no good. That one is knocked out by House, and it goes to Virginia.
Diakite needs a touch here. Scored 2 out of their last 3 field goals.
And there he is.
I would have preferred it be in the box, though.
Bolton is wide open underneath. They don't see him, and now a turnover. And a foul on the floor. And Morcell is John with Remy Martin.
I like it.
Which I think probably more comfortable for Remy Martin.
Steal John.
I know during their practice, Remy Martin, Jalen House.
Jalen's dad, Eddie House, was my teammate in Miami. He talked a lot too. One of the funniest guys I've ever played with. But I tell you what, when we got down and we needed some instant offense coming off the bench, Eddie House delivered night in and night out.
Microwave 2. Diakite 3. Look good on the release, but Jalen House is there to pick up the rebound.
And I like the jump shot, but I think you got to get Diakite down in that low box. A little ball reversal, let him duck in and give it to him and let him go to work. Too many jump shots here for the Cavaliers.
It's a foul on Huff and a good draw by Remy Martin. All right, Maui Gym, Maui Invitational. It starts tomorrow on ESPN2 and ESPNU. Start at 2:30 Eastern Time. Georgia, their terrific guard, Anthony Edwards, against Dayton. 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Virginia Tech will go against Michigan State on ESPN2. Kansas and Chaminade, ESPNU. And late night, 11:30 Eastern Time, BYU, UCLA. All the games can be seen live on the ESPN app. Free throw is missed. Eltonen had a chance to grab the rebound, and it's instead deflected out of bounds.
And folks, if you love great point guard play, tune into that Michigan State Virginia Tech game, because Cassius Winston is the best maestro in all of college basketball at the point guard position.
Clark and Martin grew up in California together. They continue to guard each other in this game.
Give it to him. There you go.
We'll get Veltonen with a bump on Diakite.
Is Bill Walton going to be in? Is he going to be out there this year? Oh, love that combo.
Who's the cruise director on that ship?
Right?
Willis or Walton?
The question is Bill going to get another massage from Walton? I know that's disgusting to even think about that one.
Cringeworthy. One-point game. Arizona State came out like a house of fire in the second half, and they have cooled off since then. Chance for the Cavs to tie it, as Arizona State has missed its last 5 shots. We are deadlocked at 38 with 5:48 on the clock. An 8-0 run for the Cavaliers.
Ball screen, reversal, and a drive has been really good for Arizona State. They've got to get back to it.
Martin was open again. This time he kicks it. White sets the screen. Huff hedges out on him. And it's Remy Martin. No foul call. Loose ball. And it's picked up by Morsell. Good defense against Martin for Virginia. Morsell, well, he freed himself up. He didn't realize it.
Reverse it.
Five on the shot clock. Kihei Clark fade away. In and out. Huff offensive rebound. And they'll start again. We saw Huff grab a rebound in yesterday's game, keep it over his head, and shed 3 defenders for a dunk.
Folks, this year, after offensive rebound, the clock resets to 20 seconds, not 30. Illegal screen there by Huff. And folks, if you're wondering how Remy Martin, why he's not continuing to score, watch this hedge here outside. Watch Huff. He stays with him the entire time to take away that little pocket that he was getting earlier and knocking down 3 balls. That's been the change defensively on ball screens that's been so beneficial for Virginia here in the second half.
It's been almost 7 minutes since Arizona State has made a basket. House, good pass, and a foul there on Morsell. Otherwise, we would have seen a big slam from not Tayshaun Cherry, I should say Romello White.
Yeah, Jalen House remembered the last time he was around the rim and Huff came over and blocked it and made the wise decision to draw and bounce that thing to the next player underneath. And way to go up strong there, Romello White. Suspended early for violating team rules didn't play against Colorado. And again, for them to make a run into the NCAA tournament, Romello White's going to have to be big.
Knocks down 1 of 2. 4 of 6 in the game, and a 1-point lead for Arizona State.
Arizona State fouls on Remy Martin. That's his 3rd.
Third foul against Remy White. That'll send Morcell to the free throw line. He is 2 of 2 from the stripe today.
Yeah.
Virginia's only taken 5 free throws in the game. They've made all 5.
I love that sound. That should be a ringtone.
Swish?
Yes.
I like that. Screen and roll for White.
Nice kick.
Jalen House penetrates again. That time he dishes it off. And the ball rolls out. I'm going to call that a goaltending as the net was hit. I'm not sure that the tipping of the net caused that ball to get out, but it's a good call for Arizona State, who, as you see in the regular season, 3-10 against top 10 non-conference opponents since 1982, but they've won their last 2 to try to knock off another top 10. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities. Go to afreserve.com. And Citi, welcome what's next. In store for a great 3:39 to the finish. Tonight, after Florida, Xavier, John Butchergross, John Anderson, the Packers 49ers post-game press conferences. Plus, you get a chance to hear from Aaron Rodgers, Cowboys, Patriots reactions today, Mavs, Rockets post-game, Sports Center after college basketball on ESPN and the ESPN app. All right, Fonz, 3:39. If you had a crystal ball, you know, what does each team have to do to win the game?
Well, for Virginia on the offensive end, they've got to get the basketball down in the low post to Mamadi Diakite and let him play out of it. He's so good that if he gets double teamed, he's able to make the pass. He can shoot the turnaround jump shot. He can turn and face. And on the defensive end, they've got to be aware of where Remy Martin is, because as you know, if he can get a little layup, he can kind of get it cooking. And I think Arizona State's got to play Remy Martin off of the basketball and bring him to it and try to find him in the course of the offense, because Virginia is not going to allow him to come off of those ball screens and get clean looks going forward.
Each team with 2 timeouts to go. And both teams shooting on fouls.
There it is.
Diakite, he cleared some space and he makes the bucket after he got fouled by Kimani Lawrence.
And folks, I've watched this kid. He's been one of my favorite bigs his entire career. I've watched him grow from a freshman to a senior. He's been there, won a national championship, has taken the responsibility of being the go-to guy on this team on the offensive end, making big plays like that. How about taking the contact and still being able to make it over the top? Well done.
Did he take it or did he create it?
Both.
He's got 15. His career high is 19. He had that against Vermont. Double team White quick, so he kicks it and he throws it right to Bobby Hurley, who's not wearing a uniform.
And that created by that baseline to baseline double team of the box from Virginia, able to speed up Romello White, and he did the right thing looking opposite, but Virginia did a nice job of fanning back to shooters on the opposite side. Well done defensively there by the Cavaliers.
We're back to 3 minutes in all game. We've talked about the friendship lifelong between these two guys, Remy Martin and Kihei Clark, and all that their families do together and their get-togethers over the course of 12 months. Now on a basketball court against each other for the first time. Good drive. Key didn't go. He's down on the floor. May have hurt his wrist. He's grabbing that. And on the other side, Remy Martin, that had to be a goaltend, and it was.
Braxton Key may be hurt. He's holding that. I think it's his left hand or wrist. A good drive there, but missed it. And then this is where Arizona State's at their best. Out in transition, Remy Martin reading it and able to throw it over the top. Quick reaction by Diakite, but I think the official's right. That's a goaltend.
High above the rim, on its way down, tied at 43 with 2:35 to go. Good news is Braxton Key stays in the game, but he is absolutely grabbing that left wrist of his. Something is bothering him on that left wrist. He just gave a thumbs up to Tony Bennett as he ran by him.
Diakite on the low box has been really good for Virginia. I think he's got to touch that basketball every time down the floor. Good
Marcel. Free throw line jumper it goes. He's got 16.
What a great read by the freshman. Turn that ball screen, the big drop back, and there's a pocket right at the elbow. Just rose up and knocked it down.
Four-star recruit out of Maryland. Outstanding game today. Remy Martin picked his dribble up. 10 on the shot clock. House baseline kick. Cherry's been off all day, and he misses another. 0 for 6 from the floor today. Tayshaun Cherry.
The late challenge by Braxton Key forced him to put a little extra arc on there, forcing it short.
That's a clean block by Cherry, and they'll push the other way. House, the bounce pass, and a reverse layup by Edwards.
What a game, Ravi. What a game.
Diakite. Morsell. Oh, has he been money today? The freshman Casey Morsell. He's got 19 and a 3-point Virginia lead. You want to sell me on Morsell?
I got you. Casey Morsell, the magnificent. Great read here. Big goes low. He stops and pops. What a beautiful read there coming off that ball screen. How about Mr. House over to Edwards? A beautiful reverse layup there. And we talked about getting it in to Mamadi Diakite because he makes great decisions like this. Morsell steps into a huge 3-ball there for Virginia.
So 48-45. You see Morsell in his first 5 games as a freshman finding his way. And Seth Greenberg likes to say fact-finding missions.
I like
5 for 36 today. Yeah. All of a sudden it starts to click. He is 7 for 11.
Hey, well, he's just played within himself. He's not forced anything this afternoon. But when he's been open, I think his reads have been brilliant, though, because sometimes as a freshman, you try to do a little bit too much. And that last ball screen where he got into the gap, big drop, and he shot that little elbow jumper was a beautiful read. And that's how he's been all afternoon, playing within himself and contained. He's had a magnificent game this afternoon.
Sure has. So for a team that likes to keep teams under 50 points, Arizona State's kind of knocking on that door, sitting there with 45. Yesterday they held UMass to a 30% field goal percentage, and currently Arizona State shooting about 42.5%.
Remy Martin, number 1 in yellow, and Edwards.
Blocked by Diakite, and that's a game-changing play by Diakite. They have a 3-point lead and 40 seconds in the game.
I don't think you have to foul here. Just go for a trap, try to get a quick steal.
Morsell. He's been their star of stars today. He's got 7 on the shot clock, and he is feeling it. Fires off the rim. Diakite, that should be off Virginia.
Yeah, it's a good decision there not to foul. 1 possession game.
14 seconds to go. Arizona State trails by 3.
A little confused here. Is there a timeout, isn't it?
I want to check the clock when the ball went out of bounds. right, so Fonz, are you going to Remy Martin, let him create, and do you need 2, or are you waiting for the 3 to tie?
Well, if they can get it over quickly, space the floor, and if they can get it over quickly and get to the lane, you go for the layup. But if they're going to bring it up, and I'd say that you got to keep it out of his hands initially and then bring him to the basketball so he can have some space to operate. Yeah, I think right just
around
under 15 seconds.
Yeah. Larry Scirotto just explains they're just kind of checking on the time and make sure the ball was not deflected off of somebody else.
Yep. 15 seconds, as we called it. Yep.
So Morsell in his 2 games here at Mohegan Sun, 35 points. In his first 4 games, he had 7. And he's got the last 5 for Virginia.
Yeah, good move here by Virginia. Trying to keep the basketball out of Remy Martin's hands. But once he gets it, I'd love to see him get it on the run. Try to get it up the floor and try to go for a quick 2 if he has it.
Now, we started the telecast talking about Martin and Kihei Clark. They're going to get it right over half court and call another timeout. They have the sense that this ball is going to end up in the hands of Remy Martin. Mentioned the fact that they held UMass to 30% shooting. Virginia, 50 is their magic number. They are 5-0. And only once had allowed 50 points or more. That was against Vermont, 55. Otherwise, 5-0 in the games they don't allow a team to score 50. And here's Arizona State sitting there at 45 with 11 seconds to go.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the defensive adjustment here in the second half for Tony Bennett's crew in getting that big up and out, taking away Remy Martin's like what I call slot threes, was a brilliant move here in the second half that's kept the basketball out of his hands. But you know, you're talking about the #1 most efficient defense in the nation by the Cavaliers, and yet this Arizona State team has showed resilience and toughness to battle back in this game.
Another game coming up at 3:30 Eastern time. From here, it'll be St. John's and UMass, the 2 teams that lost yesterday. UMass took a lot of positives out of their defeat. But you get the ball over half court, 11.8 to go. So what's the game plan?
The game plan is to get that basketball in the hands of Remy Martin, #1, or Rob Edwards, #2 in gold. I think they'll do some kind of a way screen to bring him to the basketball, or you can throw it into the backcourt. Problem if they throw it in the backcourt, now it's a 50-50 ball. Right. Kihei Clark is a blur. I wouldn't recommend that one.
Virginia has made all 7 of their free throws.
And whatever you do, Virginia, do not foul.
Clark and Martin have been guarding each other all day, and for as deep as their bond is, they haven't said much to each other. They get it back to Martin. Jalen House with 5, 4. Edwards launches a 3. It's short, and it's out of bounds, and it's a Virginia win. They opted to get the ball to Rob Edwards, and we'll see if there's going to be any time put back on the clock. They don't go to Remy Martin. Edwards instead, and a challenged 3-point shot to tie it. Comes up way short.
I thought Jay Huff was very aware of what was going on the floor. Watch the late challenge that forced Rob Edwards to put an extra arc on that ball, forcing it to be short. What a great defensive possession there by Virginia.
The ball hits the ground, and there may be a .2 or 3 put back on that clock, but again, Virginia up 3.
When it hits the floor, .2 at the most. Yeah.
Our player of the game is brought to you by the Air Force Reserve, and it's number 13, the freshman. Casey Morsell was outstanding today, and perhaps one of those games that turn your entire season around as they get it into Morsell, and Virginia gets another victory. They stay unbeaten And they beat Arizona State and hand Bobby Hurley his first November tournament loss in 2+ years.
Yeah, how about the poise and the patience? They were down 5 points in the last 5 minutes of the Vermont game, came back and won that one. They got down deep to Arizona State. You and I looking at each other going, that's a little unusual. And yet the veteran experience, enough veteran guys on this team who've been there before, the national champions prevail yet again.
All right, so you're Arizona State. What do you take away from it? You're Virginia, you get a win. What do you take away from it? Like, what do we need to work on, boys?
Yeah, if I'm Arizona State, I go away from this having played against the national champions and going, hey, we got a legitimate shot to win the Pac-12. Everybody's talked about Arizona, Colorado, and the good Washington and the good teams out there, but we got a legit chance to win it with our defense and our ability to score on the offensive end. And Virginia, it's the same old, same old. Gritty, tough, veteran with some little young guys sprinkled in.
Our final score is a 48-45 victory for Virginia. We're going to send it back to the studio. We'll return at 3:30 Eastern time as we have the men's game between St. John's and UMass with LaFonso Ellis, Carl Ravitch, Virginia, the Air Force Reserve Hall of Fame tip-off champions.